Hello, this is Greg Allison of Green Greg's Garden and Worm Farm, coming to you on 1 July 2020 at close to sunset. We have a heavy overcast sky today due to Saharan dust and cosmic ray induced cloud nucleation. It is really gray today at this late hour. Although the sun technically has not set yet. It still likes about 30 minutes, but boy, it's getting dark in a hurry. So we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the eye of the storm. Are we there? And what comes next? This year's been a roller coaster between shutdowns, lockdowns, the pandemic, the disease, the riots, and other things. What can we expect next? You know, we're slightly into a breather right now. Cases are going up, and what's going around? Unemployment is high right now. Or at least we should say people are underemployed. According to CSNBC, it's like 47.2% of the population is not working. The available workforce is not working. By that I mean adults that could work. That's not the unemployment rate, by the way. The unemployment rate counts those who are actually actively seeking jobs. So that's a big difference. Given that, where are we heading? You know, a lot of people that are employed are underemployed. We have so many college graduates these days who have a hard time finding a job, and yet they're way in debt to their schooling. The colleges have been nothing but a big sham in this country because the demand for going to school has went skyrocket high. They've just continuously raised the rates. People in administration colleges that used to like register students when they were signing up now have big fat cushy jobs and let other people do that work for them and get more money and do less work. So, and then the administrators make a lot of money now, too much. They've really got fat off the huge demand for college education. But that's been highly misplaced. A lot of people say, Greg, what do I do? You know, the trades are really lacking in people. The trades are really, really lacking. If you are in the process of getting college education, really seriously consider switching to a trade. If you've already got a college education and are underemployed, learn a trade. That's where the demand is. It's in trades. Now, if you got a college education in engineering, software development, or something like that, you can still fare well. But most of your other college degrees are far in oversupply, and you're going to have a huge debt to pay off. And many of you are there right now. So there's a lot of discontent. It's expected right now that 25 to 26% of the people in this country are worried about making their house payments, and a lot of them expecting they may not be able to make their house payments and rent here in the upcoming next few months. There's huge delinquencies in this. Bankruptcies are up. Something like 26 oil companies have went bankrupt, like from I think March to June. They're expecting something like 196 companies that are currently carrying over $100 million in debt to go into bankruptcy before the end of the year. That's a lot of companies. That's a lot of future job losses. So what happens as we go into more shutdowns, which may come around again? Sure, we've opened stuff up, but talk of wave 2 and things like that is prompting more talk of shutdowns. Whether you believe in it or you accept it or not, it's likely that the economy is going to get hit again. That's just something we got to contend with, something we got to think about, whether we want to believe this or not. We might not have a choice in what happens. Well, we do have a choice. We have a voice. You can vote. You can write your congressman. But how it all pans out, you know, there's still people may not be willing to go shopping. People losing their incomes are not going to be willing to spend money. May not be able to spend money. People that own properties that aren't collecting rent will suffer. People that can't pay their payments will suffer. This could cascade. Banks and other institutions could be under a lot of stress. We are at an unprecedented level of unemployment. People are not up in arms yet because they're still getting stimulus checks, unemployment checks, and EBT. How long will it continue? How long can it continue? We're over $23 trillion in debt. The debt is mounting fast. The tax base is shrinking to zero. So where does that leave us? What's going to happen? It could get ugly. That's all I'm saying. A lot of people thinking we can just continue this game forever. Some of us have a hard time seeing that happening without some kind of consequence, be it inflation, or be it depressionary stress, or maybe some of both. We have depression in some sectors and inflation in others. We've never seen this before, but you know, that's called stagflation. We've seen something similar to that. Could happen again. So what you need to know is this. This may be a unique last chance to go out and shore up your preps. This may be the unique last chance to go out and buy seed. We don't know what's going to be available in the market in the months ahead. We have no idea. We have no idea what we're going to do to get through the times that are ahead of us, other than we know that other shoes may start dropping. We have the prospects of magnetic pole reversal, or at least the weakening of our magnetic field, which is continuing. We could have impacts from that based on a more serpentine jet stream, bringing climate variations all over the map, which are not good for crops. Whether you believe in global warming, or whether you believe in ground solar momentum or whatever, having a jet stream snaking around all over the planet is bad for crops. It's bad for stability. You may say, well, it has nothing to do with it. Well, there's those that think it does. The field strength is dropping, and the jet stream has gotten very snaky in the way it's been moving around the past year or two. So, you know, we can expect to see more of the same, whatever you think the cause is. You know, look, there's people going to debate anything you put out there. Any scientific term, any scientific paper, anything you put out is going to be debated by somebody else. There's always going to be experts that don't agree. What I'm here to tell you is we're under stressful times. If you don't agree with that, I don't know what planet you're on. I'm expecting, you know, we haven't solved any of these stresses. The things that have rocked us in the beginning of this year are all still here. And they all portend to perhaps get worse. Portend. There's not much sign of things getting better. Whether you want to think all these things are shams or scams or whatever. Certainly some things have been amped up. So it's, you know, whatever you believe, we're in for a rough time. There is a prospect for global warfare. There's a prospect for civil unrest, unprecedented. Some people, we had a poll by Rasmussen of 1,000 adults in America, and it suggested that 33% thought that we could enter a civil war. That's kind of a sobering prospect. If people are thinking that way, what does that mean? We don't have to go down that road. I do believe in power of meditation and prayer, that we can take ourselves out of that. I do believe we can rise above it. But we have to be ready. What are you going to do for yourself? Learn to trade is a real good thing, even if it's just a side gig. You know, I'll promote farming and micro farms. I'll do more of that in the future. I didn't do that because that's kind of obvious. That's what I do. So I have picked on other things like courier services in my quarantine living session. But we'll go more into the more obvious things. I did cover worm farming, but then I shut my worm farm down. I'm still dealing with some emergency. I still haven't covered up all the things I got to deal with. I'm still working it. So my worm farm will be back up, but not immediately. I still need a couple of months in, then I'm in an uncertainty of, do I want to ship in the summer, given the way the post office is really dragging their feet. I have shipped year-round for years on end. Winter, summer, no problem. But last spring I was having a lot of problems because of delayed shipments from the post office. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to deal with that. If they can't get their act together in terms of making shipments, but they're under a lot of stress because there's an unprecedented amount of packages. It's like Christmas for the post office every week. And they're dealing with reduced staff. So they have their own issues. Okay, so my main message to you is consider what to do economically if you don't have a job, because your benefits might run out. Consider what to do if you have a job, in case it may come to pass that you don't. Think of backups. Think of your parachute. Think of other ways to survive. Money in the bank may not be any good, especially if we lose the power. It won't even be there. We could have inflation. Your money may go to nothing. But then again, so could your debt. You might be able to pay off your debts with a roll of silver coins. According to some. I don't know. There's a lot of prospects, but get ready, prepare. Grow a garden. That's my #1 advice to you, is to grow a garden. Greg, live in the city, grow indoors. I got videos on my channel. Click the videos in the upper left-hand corner on my screen and scroll down close to the bottom. You'll see tons of videos on growing microgreens in your home. I grow them in my living room. You can do that too. And you can order supplies for those from True Leaf Market. Check my link below to True Leaf Market. And you can also get heirloom seeds. It's not too late to get seeds. I'd get a lot of seeds. Get seeds and save them for next year. And if you're not planting this year, because seeds may be money. You just need to preserve them. But seeds may be money. Seriously. You know, they're going to be in big demand, or the demand's getting bigger. And I'm going to do videos on sharecropping your neighbor's yards and other things that you can do to get through the tough times so that people can eat and feed each other. And we can make sure that society don't collapse entirely. I'm going to be talking more and more about that. So, also, go to prepwithgreg.com. You need more long-term food storage. Get it while you can. Store up, stack up, build your reserves. You can get a month's supply, or 4-week supply, for $100 off at prepwithgreg.com. And you can get in through that link. If you click my Patriot logo in the upper left-hand corner of that website, you can get into My Patriot Supply and you can order other stuff through them. And that also goes through my link, so that still supports me. Anyway, Mother Nature is still enjoying herself. So no matter how bad things are, take a nature bath whenever you can. I know it's dark, it's hard for you to see, but you can hear the frogs, right? There's a swamp down here. I'll be doing my live session in a little bit. And I've got my compost pile here. And look at this. Turmeric is coming up out of my compost pile. Somehow some of it got in there. Some nice looking plants. And they're directly under the trees in the sun. That's the south. So they're not in direct sunlight at all. And they're growing just fine. They got some rich compost there. So that's what's possible. Check out this moss. I've seen so much moss this year because of all the rain. The big poke plant. That's poke salad. You know, you said, you know, the tradition is you only eat it when it's small, and you wash it out about 3 times, cook and wash, throw out the water, boil, throw out the water, boil, and throw out the water, and then you can eat it. It's great with cornbread. But I know a local herb expert, wild plant, edible plant guy, Daryl Patton, says you can even eat these plants at that size if you wash them out enough. But I'll have to investigate that some more. But look at this. This is a persimmon tree. It's got a persimmon on it right there. You see that? You see the persimmon? There's so much to eat out here. I cover this in my videos. I talk about how to eat from the trees. I just did a video on plantain. Plantain is a very medicinal plant. It's also very highly nutritious. Plantain also is used by some people to treat spider and snake bites. Of course, most of you have heard insect bites. The spider and snake bite part was a little bit new on me. But yeah, so whether it's the best treatment for that or how effective it is, I'm not 100% sure, especially for the snake bites. But you know, hey, in a grid down situation, it probably beats a poke in the eye. It said it can draw poisons out. And it's definitely an antibiotic type of plant. So it's helpful in that regard. Anyway, I got a lot more videos coming up on how to survive, thrive, and stay alive in the worst of times. I talk about topics to keep your eyes wide open, head on a swivel. I try to help you in those regards. So subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so. Bang the update notification bell and click all so you can get the update notifications to my videos. And come back and check my channel periodically, because sometimes the algorithms just don't prefer channels that talk a lot about things that you might be interested in. Oh yeah, you can't see it because it's so dark in here. But I've also done a video, I think you can see it, on this garlic I got hanging up in here. And I got more of that to harvest. If it ever stopped raining, the rain's killing me right now. It's almost done for the past couple of weeks. And I got a lot more coming. And of course, it dries out enough and I get my tractor working better. A lot more sled bed, worm beds to put into force here soon. getting my worm production higher. That's part of the intent. Anyway, folks, there'll be more videos on worms coming in the future, and gardening, wild herbs. I'm going to do later a video on wild lettuce. It's a painkiller. And I'm going to do a video on eating lamb's quarters. That's probably the next one. Anyway, thank you for watching.